The top two reasons why the California Franchise Tax Board sends you a notice of proposed assessment. The first one is if you never filed their tax return and the state of California is inquiring why you never filed. And the second reason is if the IRS made any changes on your tax filings, then they notify the state of California and they apply the same type of changes to your taxes. Now, under California Franchise Tax Board, they have a very unfair procedure whenever you have not filed a tax return. What they sometimes do is they apply what they think you made, not by actual reporting, by any type of third-party 1099s or W-2s. They might figure in the past if you were self-employed and if you had any type of occupational licensing, like a real estate license, insurance license, you're a mortgage broker, what they could assume is that you should be making X amount of dollars, your taxes X amount, interest, penalties, and here's the bill. And of course, if you don't respond, you don't submit the original tax filings, this becomes finalized and the state of California begins their collection action. What you could do to rebut this if you feel this is unfair is to actually file an original California 540. If there are times where if the IRS federal tax return to 1040 matches up, you might have to attach a copy to that 540 and submit it and respond back to make sure those changes do not get finalized. If, however, you feel that it's pretty much accurate, you could accept the balance and then request relief either through a payment plan or some other alternative resolution with the Franchise Tax Board. Now, if you went through an IRS audit or an assessment of tax, such as a CP 2000 with the IRS, when they finalized that procedure, they also notified the state of California, and the California applies the similar changes to your taxes. Now, through an IRS audit, if you're self-employed, they typically would want to add additional income for underreporting, and then they go ahead and disallow certain expenses, and overall, you just have a higher tax, interest, and penalties, which California applies their own based upon the California tax rates on the 540. And if you underwent an IRS CP 2000, which is a computerized underreporting procedure by the IRS, meaning that there's certain income that was not included on the original tax filings, the IRS added taxes, interest, penalties automatically to your taxes and sent you the bill. Then they notified the Franchise Tax Board under those similar circumstances. But if you never responded to the IRS, you may want to consider a reconsideration for either the audit or the CP 2000, where you would want to fight the changes with the IRS first. But if the state of California already finalized their changes and send you the balance and you're now in collections with the Franchise Tax Board, the first thing you got to do is put yourself in some kind of repayment program with the state of California. Meanwhile, you fight the IRS with a reconsideration program. And if you get better results through the reconsideration program with the IRS for an audit reconsideration or a CP 2000 reconsideration, then those results then you forward to the Franchise Tax Board. You submit to them the proof that the IRS reversed certain changes or minimized the taxes along with your calculations and submit that to the state of California to make sure that the California makes the appropriate adjustment. Now, the one thing about California, sometimes they do take their time, and it is important that you do follow up. And if in the meanwhile you're in some kind of payment plan, make sure you stick to that payment plan, because what happens is they need to fully process any type of reconsideration, any type of documentation first, and make adjustment to the balances. And if you're not in some kind of payment plan or some kind of relief program, then the California will strictly do some kind of collection action against you that include bank levies and wage garnishments. And the California FTB does not mess around, as they act quickly, way faster than the IRS ever would. And if you need help regarding your Franchise Tax Board, tax debt, or any collections or any tax problem with the Franchise Tax Board, let me know. We offer a free case review.